Hello and welcome back to the Programming in Ninox Learning Series. In this class, we're going to look at a new screen or form object called the embedded view. Now before we get into the view, let's take a look at our database in terms of our table configuration and data model. Here we see that we've created a new page called Main Data View. And what I want is to be able to go to one screen and see all my vendors, all my transactions, and all my inventory. Now these arrows show us that there are relationships between these tables, and these boxes inside of the larger boxes show us that there are other relationships between these tables. But here we see in our main data view there are no relationships incoming or outgoing. This is an object, a page, that is completely independent of all the other tables and fields in our application. I'm going to go to the main data view and we simply have our blank page. Embedded views are layout elements, so I'll go to my layout elements screen and I'll select view. Now a view consists of two major constructs. First, what are we viewing? Think of this as a window. What do you want to see when you look through the window? And I'm going to use the select function to indicate that I want to select my vendor records. So the first construct is, what do we want to see? The second construct is, what are the fields within our selected table do we want to have presented? I want to see the vendor name and all three of their phone numbers. And this will give us a window with this view, the vendor name and all three of their phone numbers, which I can space out this way. The last thing I'm going to do is name this view vendor listing. The other two views that I want to see are the inventory view and the transaction ledger, and I've set them up the same way. I've created a view from our layout elements panel. I've named it inventory, pointed it to a table. In this case, I'm selecting all of the contents of the product table, and then I have indicated which columns, which fields in that table I want to see. I want to see the product SKU, name, and source for my inventory, and for my transaction ledger, I've indicated I want to select all of my transactions, and I would like to view the date, type, name, and transaction amount. Now we have some hidden features in all of our views. Any view object or embedded view has some hidden features that we can use to control how the information is presented. This is a raw list of all of the records, 2,499 of them, in the transaction table. I can go into a column and I can specify that I want to see how many pieces of content are in that column. I can define whether I want to see the column in ascending or descending order. I also have the capacity to group. I might go in and indicate that I want to see the sum total of the transactions, but I want to see them grouped by customer. Here I can see how many transactions there are by customer, and here I can see the total of those transactions. I can move things around. Here I can move it to look like this and use my sizing handle to bring that in, and I can hide this column entirely. And now I have an alphabetical list in ascending order that is grouped by customer name, that gives me a count of transactions by customer, and a sum total of all of each customer's transactions in the transaction amount column. If I want to see the detail, for example, there are 3 transactions for Abigail Hutchinson totaling $200.56. If I wish to see the detail of those transactions, I simply click to open up that group. We can open up multiple groups at a time, or simply look at this as a summary listing with our totals at the bottom. Embedded views are a great object for creating dashboards and control panels and scorecards. They're excellent when we want to bring the data from multiple tables that may or may not be related to each other all together in one central location. Now that we've looked at views and we've looked at how we can select data to populate those views, we're going to begin talking about how we can integrate or link or create relationships between the tables and fields in our Ninox application. In our next 3 classes, we're going to look at how we link tables together, create parent-child relationships, and can utilize direct relationships to create databases that can very, very quickly compute and display huge amounts of data. I'll see you in the next class. Visit us at www.nioxis.com. Here you can learn about different Ninox solutions. You can get tech support through our Ninox Help Desk, which is available 7 days a week, or you can schedule private one-on-one concierge sessions for training, or we can help you build your application. And if you haven't done so already, sign up for our free Ninox Learning Lab. We do this every Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. in the UK, 6 p.m. Central European Time. These free hour-long sessions enable you to learn more about Ninox, features, functions, and solutions. We have open Q&A where you can get answers to all your Ninox questions, and you can meet other members of the global Ninox community. We look forward to seeing you there.